Well, hello, folks. This is Jack. These past couple days have been filled with a little bit of drama, needless to say. Pretty much began with that video I posted up in which I made this comparison between how anti-theists here on YouTube have, they are against this idea of racial superiority or ethnic superiority. Basically, many of them are against racism. But at the same time, many of them are not against the use of insults, mockery, and ridicule towards religious people's beliefs and towards religious people themselves. And oftentimes coupled with this is an acceptance of, and almost in some cases, almost a sense of encouragement to be very vulgar and crude towards these religious people's beliefs and towards the religious people themselves in some cases. So, of course, it stirred, it's like when you throw rocks at the beehive, and if you hit the beehive, you're bound to get those bees chasing after you. And the fact that my video was so emotional, like the volume of my voice was clearly elevated, and I was really expressing my emotion, I really knew that the responses back are going to be as intense in some regards. And my video wasn't scripted, and as such, of course, the video wasn't nearly as clear and precise as it could have been. But that's okay. That's okay that happens. Because sometimes, you just want to speak your mind, and later on, ask yourself, what the heck was I thinking? Why did I say that? That's okay. That's okay. Trying to work through some of those things. So anyways, I watched some of these video responses that I received, and not surprisingly, many people were in some instances sort of justifying this use of ridicule towards religious people and their beliefs. I'm not surprised. I mean, for the past 4 or 5, I think any religious people here on YouTube, many of them can testify to being insulted and ridiculed, as to be honest, many atheists can too. They can testify to this fact of, I've been insulted and ridiculed, and I don't think anyone really enjoys it. I mean, I don't think many people sit around and be like, yeah, I've just got ridiculed today. Some people may take entertainment out of it. They may play around with that to a certain extent, perhaps, and be like, oh, and have this little back and forth, perhaps. But anyways, one of the ideas presented was this idea of, hey, insulting religious people, ridiculing them and their beliefs can actually be effective. Now, there is an atheist here on YouTube, Michael Payton67, who posted up an excellent video talking about this. He's not nearly as popular as many of the other YouTube atheists who, really go out to, they're involved in sort of these dramatic video, sometimes sort of stuff that goes on here on YouTube. But anyways, I really want to encourage people to watch his video because I do appreciate his approach to this idea of the use of mockery, and that's really what this whole time this has been about. So when someone posted up a video saying, no, this can be effective, of course my response, that's when I responded back by saying, atheist mockery or whatever is effective. Yes, it is. What was it effective in doing? Well, in this case, my point, which I've demonstrated very clearly, and of which many of you have confirmed, is it's very easy to see how someone can actually respond to insults and mockery, or especially the abundance of insults and mockery that are used in a conversation, because I think many of us have a tolerance for it to a degree. But when it's so prevalent, and figuring out how prevalent that is, I'm sure it differs for each individual. But when it's so prevalent, it's easy to see how someone can actually divorce themselves from conversation with opposition at all. And they can actually go about silencing them. And by silencing them, what I mean is, here on their YouTube page, they could say, no one can post comments, or I'm only going to approve comments, or, of course, I'm going to block people who disagree with me, these sorts of things. Now, so I did block several people. And to be quite honest, wasn't really, many of them, albeit not all, I wasn't like, oh, this is really going to be, you know, this is going to be, let me just say this. It wasn't as though their comments were really looking to promote some sort of conversation. It's clear that they definitely had in their mind this primary tactic of using insults and ridicule and mockery, albeit not all of them, but probably about 98% of them. So I blocked some of these people. Now, in response to this, what I got back was more insults, ridicule, and mockery. Now, of course, for those that went to my Blogtv show, they saw me sort of explain to them what was going on and my thoughts behind why I was posting up some of the videos that I did. And they understood that, well, I'm not, let me just say this, folks. People can post comments on any of my videos. They are not set to approval. What I did was to make a point. My point has been made. The point is, one, it's very easy to understand how someone could go to the point of saying, you know what, you guys insult and mock me and ridicule me so much, I'm just going to completely block myself from you altogether. All right, and then it's also, the irony of it is then, here on YouTube, many of you, when seeing that, you actually become more aggressive. You want to take advantage of it. It's really, to me, it seems like a very, it reminds me of the Jerry Springer Show on crack. It really does. It's this idea of something that I don't perceive as being really, I wouldn't engage in that. Like if I get the sense that someone blocks someone and they are just in their world, that doesn't create within me a sense of wanting to become more aggressive in my use of vulgarity or crudeness or ridicule or mockery. It doesn't create within me this desire to create multiple YouTube accounts, just for example, just so that I could try and post comments up and get blocked over and over and over again. But for some of you, that's actually what happened. And for some people, of course, they took these things and, you know, Claire, I never had heard of Claire before, I don't recall, but she did her dim bulb something award and I got that. And of course, other people did their things and videos from 2 years, a video from 2 years ago got reposted that was about me. And the whole time I'm like, well, okay, this is very interesting. This is very interesting. And in many ways, I mean, just very revealing of the way things go on YouTube. Now, admittedly, I just want to say there were plenty of people, atheist and theist, who said to me, and not so many words, but they said, Jack, why are you even doing this? Why are you even wasting time? We already know this. We know that there are jerks out there. We know that there are people who are rude and insulting. It's not just anti-theists. There's people, this is a human thing, a human problem. Don't even talk to them. Don't waste time talking to them. And, I struggle with that idea of engaging with and really throwing rocks at the established, anti-theistic sort of group that is here on YouTube. But I do it because I hope in some ways it does demonstrate and it helps reveal just the nature of what's going on here at YouTube. And then later on, as time passes by, people actually being able to look back and reflect upon and say, wow, this is really interesting how people responded to this. And so anyways, if I did block you and you want to be unblocked, you can send me something on Twitter. You can, have someone send a message to me on YouTube or talk with me on Blogtv. I'll be more than happy to unblock you. And I'm not going to be sitting around reading through all your comments and blocking people and deleting people. But let me just point this out. I reserve the right to do that. I really do. And there have been countless atheists who have acknowledged that they do this on a whim. That they will do this on a whim. So, this is what all this has been very telling too, is the sort of mindset that is prevalent among some people here on YouTube. And the mindset is, it's always the religious person. So you think to yourself, oh, blocking, deleting comments, religious people do that. But you don't even, so many of you don't even understand how many atheists do that. But once again, it doesn't matter to you. You just want to present this picture as though, no, this is the religious people. Now, admittedly, I always have to be mindful I have to make sure I don't do the very same thing I'm criticizing. I try not to, but I'm not perfect. I'm certainly not perfect. But I will be on Blogtv, folks, on Tuesday night, tomorrow night. If you want to come join me, that'd be great. I'll be on Blogtv, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. All right. And if you have any questions, if there's anything that you'd like to talk about, by all means, come and join me, and I look forward to chatting with you all. You all take care, and peace be with you.